Okay, I don't know about you, but I am super excited for this final panel. I mean, the name speaks for itself, prevent and protect, heal from the inside out. I don't know about you, but oftentimes when it comes to melanated people, like we are sicker, diagnosed later, and dismissed far more often than other people. And that's not an accident. So, for this final conversation at the Essence Festival of Culture 2026, I'm bringing out three powerful voices, y'all. I admire all three of these ladies. Their voices in Black health and wellness. And we're all going to sit down and talk about what it really takes to be well, from what we eat to how we listen to our bodies to how we advocate for ourselves in the doctor's office or in a hospital. So please help me welcome, and I need y'all to really show some love for Dr. Shanta Quillette, aka Shanta Q, DeVell, Tracy Piper, and T-Boss. Y'all, they are wonderful. Please show them some love. Don't they look beautiful? Okay, I'm a huge fan of all three of these ladies. You and your son, like I was saying in the back, inspired me so much. Your sense of humor and your ability to just connect with us is wonderful. Of course, I grew up listening to your music. I'm a huge fan, and I'm impressed with how you have been able to have such a beautiful career and be a beautiful mom, just a boss, honestly, and goals, to say the least.
Thank you.
Tracy, we see each other, right? We were in the bathroom like, girl, you're so pretty. She's like, you so like, girl, no, you pretty. So I was like, it takes one to know one. So y'all, please welcome them one more time. Now, when I was going through my questions, I said this panel really is near and dear to my heart because I remember about 2 years ago, I was pregnant and I had an ectopic pregnancy. My left fallopian tube ruptured and I had no clue. And I was in the hospital, I just remember crying out for help and asking for help, and I was being ignored. And I was literally bleeding out. I was literally dying. And it wasn't until my mom picked me up and took me to another hospital, and they immediately rushed me back, took my vitals, did an ultrasound, and said, oh, we're taking you right back to surgery, that I was even heard or seen or just cared for, listened to. My heart goes out to just us. So I appreciate you ladies lending your voice to advocate and to just bring more awareness to just Black people and just mortality, wellness in our bodies. So I want you to share, each of you, and you can jump in if you feel like it, share a time when you didn't feel heard or seen by a healthcare provider and what that experience taught you about advocating for yourself.
Oh, I can talk about that easily. So I was misdiagnosed for about 8 years. I've had 2 strokes and a heart attack. And so I was going back and forth to the doctor complaining about palpitations in my chest, shortness of breath, and doctors wouldn't listen to me. They all blamed it on, being overweight, stress. I'm too young. It's disheartening. It's not a good feeling when you know in your heart that something is wrong with you and nobody's listening. And because of that, it cost me my career. I had to retire from my job, being misdiagnosed. And it took a Black doctor to actually give me my actual condition. But that was after 2 strokes and a heart attack. So it was devastating.
I mean, can you imagine? 2 strokes, a heart attack later, you're still being misdiagnosed, not heard. Come on, like we gotta do better. And like she said, a Black doctor is the one that had to tell you. Do you have something to chime in with?
Yes, I actually had 4 miscarriages and an ectopic pregnancy before I was listened to, and so I made my issue my classroom. So in the sense of like, how can I advocate for myself, because I have a medical background and yet no one was listening to me because of the color of my skin. And like, oh, you think you know so much. And so I had to learn how to advocate for myself like that. And then even up to recently, I found out that I had a blood situation going on because I worked on at 9/11.
Yes.
Again, ignored. And then I had to come up with, no, I think I have this, and can we do these tests? Can we figure out to find out that, yeah, you do have a blood issue that is, not going away. So you have to really
Unbelievable.
advocate for yourself and push forward.
Well, I was 7 years old when a doctor told my mother in front of me at 7, which that should have never happened. The doctor told me that I would die by the time I was 30. I would be disabled my whole life and I would never have children. So my mom immediately looked at me and said, disregard everything he said. God has the last say so of your life. So it just goes to say how doctors can tell you something that can convey how you choose to fight for your life or not. Because some people don't have, a strong mom like me or a God-fearing mom like me to show me another way. You know what I mean? So it is so important to learn about your body and your health, to advocate for yourself and understand that you don't have to do half of the things they even want you to do in the hospital. Like, you have the right as a patient to say, no, I'm not doing that. And I don't think a lot of people even know that they have that power as a patient.
Wow. I mean, did y'all hear that? Being told that as a 7-year-old? I have a 7-year-old right now, and she's just worried about when the next time she's getting some Chick-fil-A. So can you imagine? I mean, love to your mother,
Yeah.
and just look at how beautiful your life and your light is now. Just that, I got chills. I don't know about y'all, but I got chills just when the doctor says no, God says yes, right? And we have to just push forward. A lot of times, like in our lives as Black women, we are just told to push forward. And my question to you, ladies, is how do we shift from surviving to truly prioritizing our health?
Well, I think that's a huge issue when it comes to Black women because we're constantly in survival mode and we wear exhaustion like it's a badge of honor. We're so busy saying that we're superwoman, we're trying to push through, that we don't recognize our body when something happens. And so what I always tell women is you need to know when your body is well. And when you know when your body is well, you will automatically know when something is going on so you can advocate for yourself properly. We will put so much money into our shoes, our hair, the way we look, but we won't go to the doctor. We'll skip the appointment. And I always say lipstick looks better when you're alive. People will tell you, amen. People will tell you that this is one thing I hear. They say, you will rest. I'll rest when I'm dead, or I'll sleep when I'm dead. Let me tell you something. When you dead, you die. Sleep, you're in a conscious state. There is a difference between rest and rigor mortis. And so I want every woman to make sure that you prioritize yourself. Make sure when you feel something abnormal, you go to the doctor. You don't wait. I've lost so many beautiful Black sisters just because they said, I'm going to go to the doctor next week. Next week never came. So make sure that you advocate for yourself, and you also not only hold those doctors accountable, you hold yourself accountable.
I was just going to add, too, I had to learn that the hard way because when I was touring, I would mess up every tour. So I was always concerned about, oh, this person's going to be mad at me or the other artists are going to be upset, instead of thinking if I'm not here, this isn't going to matter anyway because there's nobody going to be lead singing in TLC. You know what I mean? So now I care about myself and everybody else can come whenever. You know what I mean? But, yeah.
But
Like,
that
that is
speaks to
so
your
true
heart.
because I learned it the hard way.
I
Like
think-
that just goes to show who you are. You're worried about everybody else except for T-Boz. It takes you to learn how to really prioritize yourself. Wow, I mean, this superstar is worried about everybody else, making everybody else the priority and not herself. Unbelievable.
But for generations, they've told Black women that we're supposed to be strong and that being strength is being silent and silence is suffering. No, strength is asking questions. Strength is advocating for ourselves. And strength is also listening to our bodies when it starts to whisper to us. When we get that headache, when we get that bloating, when you notice the swelling on your feet, when you get a little constipated, you haven't gone to the bathroom in a couple of days, that is your body speaking to you. So we need to get more fluent in the language of our own bodies so that we can start advocating for ourselves and knowing when it's time to go to the doctor and say, you know what, Because with every breath that we take, we have another opportunity to protect our essence.
So, ladies,
I wanted to add, I'm sorry. I wanted to add on to what she said because what I learned is when you're sick and you have something foreign going on in your body, you forget. You know what I mean? By the time you get to the doctor, get out a pen and paper and a pad. I had a notebook and I started writing down questions that I should ask when I get to the doctor, writing down the symptoms that I had when I had it because you're so stressed out. And by the time you get there, and I noticed that the doctors respect you more and listen a little better because some don't listen at all. But sometimes if you get the right one, they'll listen when they know you're serious about your health and you're like on it. You know what I mean? So I started writing everything down so I could remember exactly what was going on with me. And so I knew the perfect questions to ask, especially when I had a brain tumor because I'm used to dealing with sickle cell, but now I got this foreign thing in my head and I don't know what to do. And I'm stressed out. I don't know if I'm going to live or die. I have kids to be here for. So it was crazy. So I think that was one of the hardest times of my life. And I had to write everything down because I was forgetting everything. I was so nervous and scared.
I did that with my name, actually. So with my name
Put
is
the mic
Piper.
to my-
With my name, Piper, I did prepare. Preparation is power.
Yeah.
I is for insist with confidence. We're not being difficult, we're being responsible.
Right.
P is for partnership. So the doctor's coming with their medical advice and their expertise. We're coming with our lived experience in our body, but together we can create a better decision. And then E, educate ourselves. Know your numbers, know your family history, know what supplements and medication that you're taking. And then our resources. Remember, you have options. So seeking a second opinion does not mean you're being disrespectful to the doctor. It means you're being self-respect for you. So I use that with my name.
I love that.
Well, I say be the bad patient. Be the bad patient. I
Yeah.
don't mean going in the office, kicking over tables and doing
Yeah.
all that stuff. But I mean, be
Yeah.
the bad patient. Don't take no for an answer. Tell the doctor how you feel, what you mean, and don't be scared to do it. Because a lot of times the doctors will push you off, but if you're a little bit more aggressive and say, hey, I need to speak to this person or refer me, you find a supervisor and make the doctor listen, but be the bad patient and it is okay because it will save your life.
So then, Doc, what's the one question that you would say every Black woman here needs to ask their doctor on their next visit?
Well, I think the thing with me is I have to put some accountability on myself. So like Tracy said, it is important to know about your body and know your numbers. So when I was going to the doctor all these years, I wasn't really paying attention to my numbers. I was just looking at it, and the doctor, I'd be like, well, what does this mean? And the doctor's like, oh, well, it's not that bad. But it really was bad because it was a buildup, and I was having plaque on my arteries. So make sure when you get your blood work, you ask your doctor, what does this mean? And what happens if it does go high? And why is if it's high, why isn't it that bad? So just make sure when you get your blood work, you ask questions. Just don't take it for Facebook. What is it called?
Face value.
Face value. Take it for that. Thank you, honey. You know I got perimenopause, and sometimes the words don't come out. And child, I'm about to get sleepy and all the other things. Got to pee right now too.
Right.
Trying to hold it. But yeah.
So T-Boz, this question is for you. You know, you've been able to have such an extraordinary career while living with sickle cell. But what has that journey taught you about just the resilience of it all, self-advocacy, and just using your voice to raise awareness while also living? And what do you tell others that are living with a chronic illness?
When you know better, you do better. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn how to take care of myself. I know now that I have a massage therapist on the road with me. I have a nurse that comes in because I'm a hard stick. I have no veins. So she'll stick me in my boob, my foot, my leg, wherever she can get it. But I do vitamin drips all the time. I do holistic remedies, infrared, saunas, red light therapy. Man, it's almost like if you go to war, you're going to take the Army, the Air Force, and the Navy, and the Marines. So I fight with everything I got, and I take oxygen before the show and after because when we were on the fan meal tour, I went on stage and I came off 6 pounds lighter. That's crazy in one show. dancing 2 hours straight. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So 6 pounds though in one night, that's crazy. And I was like, I'm gonna die like that because I was only 103 pounds and then I was 92 pounds real quick. You know what I'm saying? So I had to really sit down with myself. Like I knew that I took a job that goes against everything my disease stands for. You know, they're like, you're crazy. You should you pick this job because you know flying thins your blood. It's hard. You got to eat right. You never eat right on the road. It's so many stipulations that you are supposed to do in order to take care of yourself with sickle cell. And my job goes pretty much against the grain, every rule. So me learning how to do better with myself, and I have to do a lot. I'm not gonna lie, more than the average artist, but this is what I want. This is what I chose. So that's what I'm gonna do to do what I got to do because that's who I am. I belong on the stage. You know
Yes,
what I'm
you do.
saying? So I was like, if I want to live, then I'm gonna have to do all these things to prep. But it's cool. The only thing I worry about now is I'm gearing up to retire. I'm tired of touring. I'm 56, and I have 2 children. Thank you. And we're going on tour starting in August with Salt and Pepper and
yes,
and
girl.
Vogue.
You know, I already seen them like tickets in the car.
For 3 months.
And not even just the tour. I mean, your book,
Yeah.
Sick Life. Congratulations to you on that. And Broadway. Hello.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have a Broadway musical, guys, that opened June 26th. So
So proud
it's
of
a
you.
lot going on. But, you know, it's a blessing to still be here to be able to even do any of it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to wear myself out to where I do retire and then I broke down so I can't be with my kids. So that's the only thing that's why I'm gearing up to retire because I owe my kids because my kids feel like, Mom, you've given your life to the world. So now we want you back.
That's right. And
So
look
I
at
owe my
you.
children.
I love that. So selfless. We appreciate you. Now, Tracy, I guess, you know, healing is not just physical, but what does healing from the inside out look like to you, both mentally, emotionally, and spiritually?
Well, when I wrote my book, The Piper Protocol for Internal Fitness, people asked me, what is internal fitness? And so we all know about external fitness, working out, we look really good on the outside, but no one really talks about what your organs look like on the inside. So I'm a massage therapist, I'm also an acupuncturist, lymphatic therapist, but I'm well known as a colon hydrotherapist. So my whole thing is about creating the best environment in your body internally for your organs and your body to heal, adapt, and thrive. So the whole thing is about internal fitness on making sure that you can do the things that she's talking about, making sure that you don't have hypoxia, high oxygen levels, knowing the little signs that your body is telling you, whispering to you about that so that you can be ahead. So I think you could. I don't think you could retire right now, but for the family part, yeah, I got you. We're gonna work on some things too to help.
I love it. Okay, ladies, they're trying to wrap me up, but I got one last question, and I want you to tell me in 5 words or less one thing that you would change about the healthcare system for Black women. One thing that you would change. What would it be?
I would dismantle it. I mean, it needs some heavy work. You know,
Wow.
Black women go through a lot of health disparities. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of human beings, and it's killing Black women. I just lost a friend 5 days ago
Wow.
to heart disease. So yeah, dismantle it and make sure that our voices are heard. A lot of times we want to sit at the table. We need to be part of the table.
Hello.
All right.
I think educating us, having a section in the hospital or in the doctors where you can educate. I work with a few doctors which they don't know some of the questions because they don't teach nutrition in school. And they will send their patients to me and I will sit down and I'm like, how do you not know this? So my whole thing is about creating more education for people.
Okay, what about you?
My 5 words would be start over, rebuild. And the 3 are the most important. Knowledge is power.
Just
There's
like that.
nothing left to say
Knowledge
after
is
that.
power.
Best friends, make some noise for all 3 of my amazing ladies. T-Boz, Dr. Shante Collette, DeVelle, and Tracy Piper.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.